Welcome to another tier maker, and this one is going to be very hands-on. We are litigating the Best Picture Oscar winners from 1990 to 2019. And this list, we're going to be ranking them on how much they deserved to actually win the Best Picture Oscar. As you can see, over on the far right, we have the list of all the movies that they were nominated against. All right? And we're going to go down the list and we're going to talk about whether these films deserved it or not. We're going to do it in chronological order. This is going to be fun. Oh, man. Oh, this is going to be so fun because I've got some hot takes for you. Are you ready? We're starting in 1990. Dances with Wolves. Dances with Wolves. What was Dances with Wolves up against? Awakenings. Robert De Niro. Robin Williams. Good movie. Not as epic, though, as Dancing with Wolves. Ghost. Very fan favorite. Big box office. Patrick Swayze. Demi Moore. Very good romantic drama. Good performance by Whoopi Goldberg as well. Godfather Part 3. When you're following the first two, it's really difficult, right? Some casting questions in that one. Andy Garcia's great in it. Pacino, of course. Kind of a gift nomination because the first two got nominated. And then there's Goodfellas. By the way, before I get deep into this, I want to say that none of these films, I will tell you how I feel about them personally, but I am not saying that if I put it in totally deserved, my take on the film might not be that it's a perfect 10. It might be a movie that I didn't even really like, but looking at the competition, did it deserve to win against those others? Well, I will tell you, Dances with Wolves, somewhat deserving. And that is because Goodfellas was the best film that came out in 1990. No one can question that. Find me a better film than Goodfellas in 1990. Hell, it's hard to find a better film in the entire decade. It's Scorsese's best film, and that's saying something. He's made Taxi Driver. He's made Raging Bull. He made The Departed, which is in this list as well, and we'll get to that. Dances with Wolves is a pretty good movie, but what of these 5 films do you watch the most when it's on cable, when it's on Netflix or whatever? It's Goodfellas. Right? And I'm not saying that as a dude who likes mafia movies. I'm saying that as an epic achievement that covered 30 plus years, 40 years. It's based on a true story. Goodfellas was the best picture that year, and it should have won. But that's not saying that Dances with Wolves is a bad movie. In fact, I think it was the second best film out of those 5, so we're going to put it in somewhat deserving. Pox says Goodfellas is so good, I rewatched it a couple of days ago. It holds up. It gets better every time you watch it. I've probably seen it 6 times, 7 times, maybe more. I don't know. It's better every time you watch it. 1991, Silence of the Lambs. Where are we on here? Silence of the Lambs. Here we go. By the way, whoever made this list, kudos. Let's throw a shout out. Yardbird231. Good job. I love this. I love this concept. So Silence of the Lambs. And by the way, Silence of the Lambs was one of the few films that won all 5 of the major categories. It won Best Picture, Best Director, Best Screenplay. Well, there's 2 screenplay categories. This one was based on a book, so it was Best Adapted, right? Best Actor, Best Actress. It swept all 5 of those. That's only happened a few other times in Oscar history. This is one of them that did it. It was up against Beauty and the Beast. Disney animated film, one of their better ones. Bugsy, Warren Beatty was still kind of a favorite son for Hollywood, but that movie is JFK, Oliver Stone, batshit crazy, very watchable. JFK is so watchable, and it's so well made, and it's so well edited. Prince of Tides. Silence of the Lambs totally deserved to win Best Picture that year. Totally deserved it. Silence of the Lambs is iconic in so many ways. It is infinitely quotable. It is perfectly crafted, and it is such an incredible film to this day. It is, in fact, I would argue it is one of the few on this entire list that might be a flawless film. It might be like a perfect 10. Well, here's another one that I think is a perfect 10. And look, I'm a little biased, but I'll tell you what, Unforgiven to me, is like one of my top 15 or top 20 films of all time. It is Clint Eastwood's best film. It is one of the best Westerns ever made. It's a revisionist Western. But it doesn't throw out what makes Westerns great. And Westerns as a genre, kind of hit or miss with me. Unforgiven is almost a flawless film. It is a little bit long, but it is building to that last 20 minutes that is so cathartic. It was up against The Crying Game. Pretty good movie. Neil Jordan. Big twist at the end. Everyone knows about it. Few Good Men. Fun movie. Pretty good script. Not the best performances from some of the people. Jack Nicholson, fantastic, of course. Howard's End. Period drama. Scent of a Woman. That was not a Best Picture nominee. Unforgiven. Totally deserved to win Best Picture that year. Amazing film. Exactly. 93. All right, here's the thing. Schindler's List won Best Picture, and if you argue that it didn't deserve to win that year, I'll listen to you, because The Fugitive is an incredible action film. Incredible action film. In the Name of the Father, very good Daniel Day-Lewis. The Piano, I've tried to watch that movie, and I'll tell you, Jane Campion is hit or miss with me, and I've not finished it. And The Remains of the Day. Yeah, look at that list. Schindler's List still is arguably Steven Spielberg's finest achievement. I don't know. I mean, he's made a lot of other films that have a lot to say. He's made action blockbusters that have blown the doors off and have changed the game forever, from Jaws to Jurassic Park and beyond. Schindler's List is an achievement, and you cannot say it didn't deserve it. 94. 94 is where it gets a little interesting. We got Forrest Gump in here. Forrest Gump. We got Four Weddings and a Funeral. It's still a good movie. Holds up well. Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction almost single-handedly changed the film industry. Quiz Show. Good movie. Not a Best Picture type movie. Shawshank Redemption. I'm one of the few people that saw Shawshank Redemption in a theater. Full disclosure. Loved it then. Still love it now. I really like Forrest Gump. I do. But either Pulp Fiction or Shawshank Redemption should have won Best Picture. That's my feel on it. It should have lost to either of those two films. Forrest Gump's a damn good movie. But, okay, we'll put somewhat deserving. Yeah, somewhat deserving. I can't go any higher than that, though. Pulp Fiction and Shawshank Redemption were complete incredible films that hold up, and Forrest Gump holds up well too. But there's just something about Forrest Gump that Pulp Fiction and Shawshank Redemption, I think, have better. Gump's a great movie, but against Pulp Fiction and Shawshank, there you go, Pac. Somewhat deserving. I wasn't mad when it won, but I was like, Shawshank is an epic film. Pulp Fiction is mind-blowing. All right, Braveheart. Ooh, this will be interesting. Where's Braveheart? There it is. All right, we're throwing out commentary on Mel Gibson and the type of person he seems to be. We're throwing all that out. It's not what we're talking about here. We're just talking about the film on its merits. 1995. It was up against Apollo 13. If you said what's Ron Howard's best film, I'm going Apollo 13. We'll talk about A Beautiful Mind in a little bit. Braveheart. It's such a good movie, and it was different for its time. The setting, the characters, that's not the kind of film you expect anyone to make, really. And to make it as good as Braveheart is, and as rewatchable as it is. Babe was a cool movie for its time, and the CG on the mouths moving, unbelievable. Way ahead of its time. The Postman, Il Postino, hey, a foreign film got nominated for Best Picture. That almost never happened. But it doesn't really belong in that list. And Sense and Sensibility, that's probably one of the best versions of the story on film. Nah. It totally deserved to win. And I love Apollo 13 on that list. I think it would have been a tough vote between those two. Braveheart felt like a Best Picture. It just really did. So we got to put it up there. 96. All All right, this is where I might lose some of y'all. English Patient. There it is. Apollo better. I don't disagree with you, Krog. Apollo 13, if you put those two films down on my desk and say, what are you watching? I'm watching Apollo 13. I think it's a little less... the last 15 minutes of Braveheart's kind of hammy to me. But it earned that ending based on what came before it. But to watch... yeah, I'm probably going to watch Apollo 13. But that doesn't mean I don't think that Braveheart definitely deserved to win. Limp Lion says Gladiator. We're getting there. That's just a few away. English Patient. Okay. I love the Coen brothers. I love Fargo, even though I'm from North Dakota and the accents are a little over the top. I love Fargo. I really like Jerry Maguire. Really good movie. Secrets and Lies. Mike Lee. Good movie. Not a best picture. I shouldn't have been nominated. Shine? Jeffrey Rush won best actor for that. Very good movie. Kind of best picture-y, but you knew after you watched it, you're like, that's not going to win. It's going to get nominated, but it's not going to win. So for me, it comes down to Fargo and The English Patient. Fucking English Patient gets me, dude. I don't care. That movie hits me in the feels every time, and I have watched it probably 5 or 6 times. It is the kind of film that David Lean used to make, but a little more romantic, and it is perfectly cast. Every single role is perfectly cast in it. Ralph Fiennes, incredible. Juliette Binoche is in it. She got nominated, and I think she won for Best Supporting Actress. If you've never seen The English Patient, I'm not going to tell you, go out and see it. But that movie surprised me in a way that I didn't expect it to, and it hit me in the feels. Really did. All right. This is where I expect to lose some of you, because English Patient, it was kind of a running joke from some people because it's really artsy. I like artsy as long as it's honest. I felt like that movie was really honest. All right, Titanic. We're just going to go somewhat deserving, and here's why. Of course it was going to win a ton of Oscars. It is an incredible production. It is James Cameron on top of his game. A middle finger to Hollywood. The fact that he had all this budget, he spent all this money, and it came out as good as it did with the reshoots and everything else. It is an achievement. It's a good movie still. A little long. Revisionist history now for some people. Rose is a bitch because she threw that diamond away in the water, and she held this flame for this guy that she had a fling with on a boat for 3 days. Meanwhile, she married this other dude. Like, all of that, I agree. She's not a good character. She's not well written. But the movie is very good. It still holds up really well, and it deserves most of the awards it got, but not all of them. I don't think it deserved Best Picture because LA Confidential is a fucking masterpiece. It's a 10 out of 10. And if you haven't seen LA Confidential, put a reminder on your phone for tomorrow or something, or tonight, whatever you're watching right now. Make it LA Confidential. Russell Crowe's second film ever. Guy Pearce's first or second film ever. Blow the doors off. James Cromwell as the lieutenant. Holy shit. Huge change for the character. After he was in Babe, and then to this, what a way to go against type. I don't want to spoil anything. Holy fuck. Oh, LA Confidential is one of my favorite films of all time. Oh, by the way, there's a little movie in here called Good Will Hunting, which is also pretty much a perfect film. Neither of those was going to beat Titanic, all right? I know. But I would have personally liked to have seen either Good Will Hunting or LA Confidential beat it for Best Picture. It wasn't gonna. All right, there's no way. You have feels? Krog. Really? All right, this should not be controversial. This take about 1998 and Shakespeare in Love, what the fuck? Honestly, are you kidding me? You know what this was? This was Miramax. This was Harvey Weinstein spending a shit ton of money and sucking up to the Oscar voters, and they voted it Best Picture against Saving Private Ryan. You find me someone who defends that choice now, and I will show you a liar. Private Ryan was Best Picture of 1998, and there is no second place. Life is Beautiful, good film. Elizabeth, good film. Thin Red Line, good film, a little long. Terrence Malick doing his thing. Terrence Malick was back. He hadn't made a movie since Days of Heaven, like 20 years before. I'm happy he was back. It's a good movie. If you think for 1 second, I'm pointing at you, if anyone out there thinks that Shakespeare in Love deserved to win over Saving Private Ryan, you are high. You are fucking crazy. What the fuck? How is that Best Picture? Honestly, it's an okay film. It's fine. Get out of my face. All right, 99, American Beauty. I'm taking a little too much time on these, aren't I? No, we're good. We're good. We're good here. We're good. American Beauty. At the time, I will tell you this movie, I loved this movie so much. It was incredible. It still is good. Nothing against Kevin Spacey. All right? Again, we're not litigating anything about any actors or actresses or directors or anything like that. We're not doing that here. As a film, it is very well done, but it is also very dated. If you watch it now, it doesn't hold up as well. And when it's up against, say, Cider House Rules was okay. It's based on a popular book. The movie was okay. Didn't deserve to even get nominated, I didn't think. The Green Mile. I feel like The Green Mile was kind of like their another crack at... I think the Oscar voters realized how they fucked up and didn't give enough nominations to Shawshank Redemption. So they threw Green Mile in there. And there are people who think Green Mile is great. I was kind of like, oh, it's okay. I mean, when you're doing all this work and it's a 3-hour film and you're trying to compare it to Shawshank Redemption, but it's got this supernaturally thing to it, I didn't need it. Michael Clark Duncan's great in it. Tom Hanks is great in it. It's a good movie. The Sixth Sense kind of changed the horror genre. Getting nominated, though, was a win for it, right? We're happy just to be nominated, pretty much. You're not going to win. The Insider, not going to win. But I could make an argument that The Insider is Michael Mann's best film. I don't think it is. I still think it's Heat, which is coming to 4K in August. But The Insider is an incredible script. It is an incredible script, and it is based on a true story, and it's so well done. And yeah, they took some liberties in the boardroom meetings and stuff that were happening at 60 Minutes, but I'm telling you, that movie is start to finish so watchable, and it's paced really well for me. To see what it is like in newsrooms and the way that they conversate about whether a story should run or not, it's one of the best films in that genre. But American Beauty, out of that list, for the time, yeah, it totally deserved to win. It did. It fucked with people in some different ways with some plot twists. The casting in it was fantastic. A lot of young talent that some of them didn't shake out as much as you thought they were gonna. But hey, Annette Bening, Kevin Spacey, fantastic film. It deserved to win. 2000, Gladiator. Are you here, Limp? Are you here? I know it's late for you. Gladiator. I'll be honest, first time I saw it in a theater, my expectations were really high. It's Ridley Scott. It's Russell Crowe, who should have won Best Actor. Or is it Best Supporting for The Insider? He is unrecognizable as Jeffrey Wigand in The Insider. So I was like, Russell Crowe's getting nominated for Gladiator. It's a makeup. Because I think the Oscar voters probably saw that film a little later and went, oh shit, he's incredible. He's good in Gladiator. But his performance isn't as ranging as it is in The Insider, but I think that was a makeup award for him to get Best Actor. Having said that, I was okay with Gladiator. I went and saw it in a theater opening weekend. It has improved over time, I will say. It has. But we're up against Chocolat. It's one of those nice feel-good romantic comedy drama type films. Johnny Depp, Juliette Binoche is in it. It's fine. It's a good movie. One time and you're done. You're never going to rewatch that film. Aaron Brockovich, good movie. Good story. Gets better when the more times you watch it, and it doesn't feel dated. Holds up really well. Traffic. Steven Soderbergh. It is not one of his better films. It's long. It's preachy. It was just Traffic. I'm so glad it didn't win. It's the worst movie on the 5. It looked the part of a Best Picture nominee, but it's not a good movie. I'm sorry. Traffic does not hold up. Try to watch Traffic now and tell me how it holds up. And then Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which was my favorite film of the year 2000. And I honestly think Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon should have won. I'm putting Gladiator as somewhat deserving. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was incredible. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon reinvented a genre of action films. Because the wuxia subgenre had disappeared. And it was, well, it hadn't disappeared. It was still somewhat viable in China, but it had not become a thing in the US. In spite of all of the other movies that had come out, that reinvented the action genre for American audiences. And it's incredible. And the way it was filmed, it is an art film with some of the best sword fights you'll ever see. It's an amazing fucking film. I think it should have won. Now, it's not knocking Gladiator. Gladiator's still a very good movie. It's not Ridley Scott's best, not even close. A Beautiful Mind. Man, this 2001 sucked for movies. Like, The Fellowship of the Ring is probably the best film on this list. Are you kidding me? A Beautiful Mind, Gosford Park, In the Bedroom, which Todd Fields made In the Bedroom. He directed like 1 movie or 2 movies and he's done. People remember him as the guy who played piano in Eyes Wide Shut, the piano player. Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. I mean, I've watched that movie more than any of these other 4 combined. And Moulin Rouge. If you all know me, I don't really give a shit about musicals at all. And Baz Luhrmann, I've seen like 2 of his films. Beautiful Mind on this list, I still think Fellowship of the Ring should have won. I don't even want to say it's somewhat deserving. No, okay, somewhat deserving. It has a pretty good ending. It's a little heavy-handed. Kind of a good ending. Decent movie. Decent. 2002. Speaking of musicals, what was going on with Hollywood? Chicago. Best Picture? Are you fucking kidding me? The Hours was not good. I didn't like that movie. Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. Damn good movie. Probably should have done better. The Pianist. The Pianist is a good movie. We're not litigating Roman Polanski here. As a film, removed from all of that, it feels like a Best Picture type film. And Gangs of New York. I love Gangs of New York. It felt like a Best Picture swing. And you got Daniel Day-Lewis in his prime. It's fucking great. The Pianist. Chicago is another WTF for me. You're up against Scorsese, Gang of New York. Lord of the Rings, which is still clicking on all cylinders. And The Pianist, which was a Holocaust Polish drama about a piano player who the only way he survives. And by the last 20 minutes of that film, you were blown away. I'm surprised Pianist even got nominated with Polanski, considering all the drama that was going on with him. But any of those films deserved it more than Chicago. Get that out of here. But I will put it slightly ahead of Shakespeare in Love, because Shakespeare in Love is the biggest WTF of all. Return of the King. Here's the thing. Return of the King, that movie winning was the Oscar voters' way of saying, we love all 3 of your films, and we waited to give it to you at the end. And it was completely deserving. It was. They got it right. They did. Now, Lost in Translation. I love that movie, but it's not a Best Picture winner. I'm surprised it got nominated. Dude, Lost in Translation is fucking incredible. Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World. Russell Crowe, 3 hours long. Him and Paul Bettany, and that movie is amazing. If you haven't seen Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World, I wish it would have done better at the box office, because there's other books in that series. That movie is way more watchable than it ever had a right to be. It's so incredible. I want to go and rewatch that now. It's been a long time since I've seen it. But I've seen it a couple times, and it got better on the second viewing. Mystic River. No. What is it with Clint Eastwood? Some of his worst films have been nominated for Best Picture. It's because everyone loves Clint Eastwood. I love Clint Eastwood. Mystic River sucks, dude. It's not a good movie. Sean Penn, he won Best Actor for that. No. It's a terrible movie. And Seabiscuit. It's okay. $1 Million Baby. Here's my problem with this. I'm going to say undeserved. Not WTF. Clint Eastwood. Hilary Swank is damn good at it. That movie has one of the hokiest fucking endings I've ever seen in a movie, and it's terrible. The ending of that movie is horrible. I'm not going to spoil it here, even though I want to. Here's the thing, though. Aviator. Not my favorite Scorsese movie, not even close. Kate Blanchett has been so good in so many movies, but then she does this really like shitty impersonation of who's the girl that she played in that? Oh god, I can see her. The character she plays in that. It's a bad voice acting type thing she's doing, and I hated it. And she won Best Actress. Or Best Supporting, I can't remember. Finding Neverland. Ray. Ray's a pretty good biopic. I liked it. Jamie Foxx won Best Actor for it. Good. Sideways. Fun movie. Not a Best Picture winner. So here's the thing. In this list of movies, $1 Million Baby actually deserves to be But I say that the fact that I liked that movie until the last 15 or 20 minutes, and I wanted to set fire to the theater. I hated how they ended that film. It's horrible. Speaking of horrible, Crash. Do we even need to litigate this movie? Do we need to? It is worse than Shakespeare in Love as a movie. It is borderline unwatchable. It is tripe. It is not even feel good. It's, oh god, Crash is so bad, and everyone knows it. And when it came out and I saw it, I didn't see it in the theater, I watched it on video, and I remember sitting there going, why is this getting award buzz? I don't understand it. This movie is god awful. Brokeback Mountain, incredible film. Say what you want about it. Ang Lee has made some amazing films, and Brokeback Mountain is one of them, and don't you dare. I will point my finger and admonish you. Brokeback Mountain is a great movie. It's one I've only watched twice, and I'm telling you, the second time hurt even more than the first. I can't watch it a third time. Incredible movie. Good Night and Good Luck. That was George Clooney. It's okay. It was only his second film. It's a tight 90 minutes. It's well acted. It looks good. It's a little slight. Munich. Pretty good movie. I actually need to watch it again now that I've been to the city of Munich. I need to actually watch it again. And Capote, Philip Seymour Hoffman's pretty good in it. I have a friend who hated it. Thought he was doing this bad vocal thing. Whatever. Crash. Brokeback Mountain should have won that year. I'm sorry. Hell, give it to Munich. Crash is terrible. But you know what? I have to put it up one into undeserved. I can't do WTF, even though I want to, even though I hate that movie. It was a weak year for movies. 2006. Departed. We're working our way through this. Departed. I need to pick it up a bit, right? I need to pick it up a bit. I'm sorry. There's just so many movies. The Departed. Babel, which is properly named. Letters from Iwo Jima is better than Flags of Our Fathers. We talked about that on the War Movies one we just did recently. Little Miss Sunshine, fun indie film, was the indie darling of Sundance. I got to go to Sundance that year as a buyer for Blockbuster, but I did not get to see Little Miss Sunshine. I was there with two other buyers, and we only had 2 tickets, and they pulled the seniority card on me, and they went to go see it. And then The Queen, which is actually a really good movie. If you haven't seen The Queen, really, really good movie. Babel is a horrible film, all right? I love that director. It is a terrible film. It's another one of those, it looks like an Oscar winner, so let's put it up there. It's a bad movie. It's bad. It's edited in a way that makes you think it's all over the place. It's not a good movie. I'm sorry. Letters from Iwo Jima is good. Little Miss Sunshine's fun. The Queen. The Departed deserved to win. I can't say any of those other films didn't deserve to win more. So I'm going to put it at the top. But that's also because, hello, it's 2006 and you're finally giving Martin Scorsese an Oscar. Thank you. All right, 2007, No Country for Old Men. Ooh, man, what a movie. Atonement is a good movie. Juno, pretty good. Oh, I hate that soundtrack, though. It's like indie for indie's sake. It's nails on a chalkboard. Michael Clayton is one of those movies that got better and better as it went. And the more I've watched that, the more I like that movie. Michael Clayton only gets better the more you watch it. The first time I watched it, I was like, eh. I've watched it like 3 or 4 times since. It's so good. And then there's There Will Be Blood, which is Paul Thomas Anderson's best film. All right, you can argue that Boogie Nights is his best film. And I will tell you right back, he just made Goodfellas with porn. That's all Boogie Nights is. It's Goodfellas. It's a damn good movie. He bit so hard from Goodfellas for that movie that it just shows. It just goes to show how much Goodfellas got robbed. No Country for Old Men. Here's my thing. At the time, I was rooting for There Will Be Blood. Because that film is just, it is something else, man. There Will Be Blood is something else. There's nothing else like it out there. No Country for Old Men and There Will Be Blood are so close together. It almost feels like they're two of the same. And if I was doing a double feature, I would put them both together. Because in a way, Daniel Plainview and Anton Chigurh are the same character. Kinda. It's so weird how those two came out in the same freaking year. It's totally deserved. No, it's somewhat deserved. And that is not a knock on the film. I think There Will Be Blood is a perfect 10. Even though the ending is not quite what you want. Watching Daniel Day-Lewis on screen for almost the entire film, you cannot take your eyes off of him. One of the few times that I have, the moment I walked out of the theater after seeing There Will Be Blood, I'm like, if you don't fucking hand him best actor, then I want to burn it to the ground. There's no way he doesn't win. He was so incredible. If you haven't seen There Will Be Blood, boy, that movie's it's a trip. But No Country for Old Men won quite a few Oscars, and it deserved them. It's so good. There Will Be Blood. Those two, I think, should have been in a little more competition. Having said that, I was so glad to see the Coen brothers get a Best Picture. I really was. So it's somewhat deserving. And by the way, I usually do when I do these tier makers, I have them ranked in terms of my favorites, not favorites. We'll do that at the end. I'll make my personal connections of what I like most on all of these levels. But for now, they don't really mean anything where I've got them. Slumdog Millionaire. Okay, I love Danny Boyle. He's made some incredible movies. This is not one of them. I'm sorry. But neither was Curious Case of Benjamin Button. That is a 3-hour-long film. I felt like I was getting to be an old man when I was watching it. Frost Nixon. Fun movie. Cool little based on a true story. But not really. Milk. Milk is a great film. Milk, oh my god. Sean Penn, one of his best performances. And The Reader. Hey, here's a Holocaust drama. Let's nominate it. Best Picture. The Reader. No, you don't want that. So I will say Slumdog Millionaire is eh. Who wins over these? Milk, I think, should have won. But as a movie, how is that even a Best Picture winner? I don't understand. It doesn't feel anything like a Best Picture winner. It didn't. But I was happy for Danny Boyle. I really was happy for him. That he made a film kind of out of the system. And it got as much love as it did. I was happy for him. I just, as a movie and as a Best Picture winner, hell no. All right, here's another one. Hurt Locker. Pac, you said Hurt Locker earlier. So this is when we get to, and I'm not going to go through every single one of these movies and talk about them now because this is when they started nominating 10 movies. we'll be here all day. Avatar got nominated because of how much money it made. We all know that's bullshit, right? The Blind Side, fun movie. Sandra Bullock won her award, won Best Actress for it. Awesome. District 9. How did that get nominated for Best Picture? I love District 9, but it is not a Best Picture type movie. It hits you in the feels when you don't expect it. And Education. Inglourious Bastards. I love the movie. It's not a Best Picture. Precious, based on the novel, what? Push by Sapphire? Yeah. Precious. Sad movie. Serious Man. I fucking hate A Serious Man, alright? Look, maybe if I had some sort of a religious upbringing, especially Judaism, maybe I'd appreciate it more. I got the memo. 15 minutes into the movie, I got the fucking point. I know it's a tale. It's an allegory. I didn't give a shit. When I ranked Coen Brothers movies, it was my lowest. Up is a great movie. It's one of my favorite Pixar films. Up in the Air, pretty good movie. Really well cast, really well acted. I like Up in the Air a lot. It's not a Best Picture. Where in this list? What's better than Hurt Locker? Well, I would have given it to Inglourious Bastards. I would have given it to Up. I would have given it to Up in the Air. I would have given it to District 9. I would have given it to Blind Side. Basically everything except A Serious Man and Precious and Avatar. That means it's an undeserved. Was glad to see a female win Best Director. She's fantastic, but look, The Hurt Locker is about 40 minutes of a good movie. Once they are sniping at these people, when they're in this area, I was like, why are we here? These guys aren't trained scout snipers, they're bomb disposal techs. Why are they sniping? Why are they acting like you don't get sniper training like that in bomb defusal school or even in basic. What is okay, look, I've not served in the military, but I know enough to know there's no way that they would have had that kind of training to be able to do what they were doing with a 50 cal sniper rifle. Really? You can just pick that up and start dialing in some shots? Get the fuck out of here. And then don't get me started on the last 20 minutes when Anthony Mackie just goes all Section 8 and shoots up this fucking place. I'm like, what movie am I watching now? I liked the very end. I liked the message of the very end. And Jeremy Renner's good in the role. That movie is so overrated. I'm sorry. Pac, it sure is a movie. All right, we have 10 left. We have 9 left. King's Speech. So it's up against 127 Hours. Pretty good movie, actually. Black Swan, not Aronofsky's best. Pretty well acted. The Fighter. Marky Mark, really. Christian Bale was really good in it, but Inception. I have mixed feelings about Inception. As the Best Picture nominee? No. The kids are all right. Fun. Good little movie. Like the story a lot. Good script. Best Picture? Yeah. Social Network. Social Network. Pretty amazing. It actually is, it might be one of Fincher's best films. It's not one that I make a personal connection to, but it is so well made and so well acted and so well written and so well edited. It is kind of a perfect film. I just don't make that personal connection to it. Toy Story 3. Some might say it's the best Pixar film ever made. True Grit, the remake. Coen Brothers. It got a pass because it's Coen Brothers, and Jeff Bridges is fun to watch, but he's doing his thing in that movie, and it's not that great. Winter's Bone. Hey, Winter's Bone's a pretty good movie. Not a Best Picture nominee. So where does The King's Speech fit in here? Where should it have been? Social Network, honestly, looking back on that list of 10, is the best film on this list. Having 10 years to separate it. But I'll tell you what, King's Speech is really good. I'm going to put it as somewhat deserving. If you haven't seen The King's Speech, it's really good. It's really good. And Colin Firth is fan-freaking-tastic in it. Give him some love. 2011, The Artist. Now, personally, I thought this was bullshit. It's another Miramax film that got shoved down the Oscar winners' throats, or the Oscar voters' throats. by Weinstein and all of his people at Miramax that got this little film and they played it up big time and it got nominated and it won. Why? I watched this movie and I went, that's going to win Best Picture. You know why? Because it's a big love letter to Hollywood. And guess what? It fucking won. It pissed me off because it's not a good movie. Well, okay, I won't say it's a bad movie. It is a completely forgettable film with a really obvious message. And I just wasn't into it at all. The gimmick that's in it. I guess I wouldn't be so angry about this movie had it not won Best Picture. If it had just been nominated, I'd have been like, yeah, it's a perfectly decent little movie. One and done. You're never going to watch that twice. Best Picture? Fucking Miramax. Let's look at the rest of the list. Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. The Descendants. I love The Descendants. Not a Best Picture type film, but I love The Descendants. Clooney. Everyone in that movie is incredible. The Help. Pretty good. Hugo. Another Scorsese that's Midnight in Paris. Woody Allen. All right, I'll litigate Woody Allen right now. I've seen 2 of his movies. The rest of them can fuck off. I refuse. There. All right. I've drawn a line with Woody Allen. I've seen Annie Hall and I've seen Crimes and Misdemeanors. Those are both incredible films. In spite of everything. That's it. I will never watch another Woody Allen film again. So I'm a little biased. Moneyball. What a great fucking movie. Is it Best Picture? Kinda. Tree of Life. Hey, I love me some Terrence Malick. It's pretty Terrence Malick-y. It was not going to win. War Horse. Pretty good Spielberg movie for the time. One and done. You're not going to watch that a second time. On that list, The Artist is undeserved. Because Moneyball is one of the best films in that list. The Descendants. The Help. Those are all really good movies. And any one of those should have won over The Artist. But Harvey Weinstein doing his thing. Argo, 2012. All right, we saw this in a theater. Liked it. Even though the whole chase thing that happens in the airport at the end, total bullshit. Never happened. It's a fun movie. And I walked out of the theater. I took Melissa to it. And I walked out of the theater and I said, there's your Best Picture winner. And she's like, I mean, it was good, but it wasn't that good. I'm like, you're missing the point. What's the narrative? Hollywood saves lives. Best Picture winner. And when it got nominated, she like looked at me like, you fucking called it. I'm like, it's going to win. It's going to win. What else is on that list that's better? Well, Life of Pi is actually a really good movie. Let's give some love. Life of Pi. I'm not a religious person. There's kind of some religious stuff in it. You don't really think there is, and then all of a sudden there is. But it's well done. All right? They don't yell it at you. I liked it. Lincoln. Dude, it's one of Spielberg's worst movies. I'm sorry. I'm glad my boy Daniel Day-Lewis got his Oscar again. That's not a good movie. Les Mis. Not a musical guy. Didn't watch it. Silver Linings Playbook. Why did this get nominated? Why? It's a perfectly forgettable film. Zero Dark 30. It's right there with Hurt Locker, but not as good. That should tell you something. Actually, I'll watch Zero Dark 30 before I'll watch Hurt Locker again. I actually think it's a tiny bit better. But on this list, it's not a Best Picture nominee. Amour. I have not seen Amour. Beast of the Southern Wild. Good movie. Glad to see it get nominated. Didn't deserve to win. I love Django Unchained. Best Picture nominee? Tarantino has power, has clout. Miramax, again. God, Argo on this list, though, it's not that strong of a list. There's a lot of big names in here. I'm going to say somewhat deserving. I can't go higher than that, though. I think you could have given it to a couple of those movies in that list, and I wouldn't have been mad about it. But it's actually higher up on the somewhat deserving if you're going to rank them. Okay, we have a few left. We're almost done. Sorry, this is taking a long time because I'm talking a lot. 12 Years a Slave. Oh, this is a tough one, man. Because this movie is so hard to watch. My God, this movie's hard to watch. This movie is hard to watch. Now, they made up a couple of things that weren't in the book. Having said that, I have watched this movie exactly once, and never again. Where are we at, though? American Hustle? No. Hey, I can do a Scorsese impression. Not like Paul Thomas Anderson, you can't. Sorry. Captain Phillips, very good movie. Holy crap. Captain Phillips, out of nowhere. Damn good movie. Best Picture nominee? It was good to get nominated. Wasn't going to win. Dallas Buyers Club. Won a couple of Oscars. Actually a really good movie. Very good. Gravity. Holy crap. One of the best made, tight sci-fi films, even though it's bullshit. It's total bullshit, right? But man, is that movie watchable. Her. I hate her. I hate that movie. I hate Joaquin Phoenix in it. Dude, you give me a character that I can relate to, and maybe I'm okay with that movie. Oh, I hated his character in that movie. Nebraska, fun movie, didn't deserve to win. Philomena, liked that movie, on the same wavelength as Nebraska, fun little movie, one time was enough. Wolf of Wall Street, hey, people make an argument for that as being one of Scorsese's best. I don't, but I think it's fantastic. Even having almost 10 years to think about all those films, what beats 12 Years a Slave? It deserved to win. In that year, it deserved to win. Even though I like a few of those films better, on that list of what deserves to be Best Picture, 12 Years a Slave is the right call. Totally is. 2014, Birdman, or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance. I love this director. I hated this fucking movie. I hated it. Edward Norton's the only reason to really watch this movie. And it's nothing against Michael Keaton. But again, I walked out of the theater, and what do you think I said? Best Picture winner. Same look Melissa gave me that I got from Argo. I'm like, that's going to win Best Picture. And she's like, the movie sucked. I'm like, Best Picture winner. Because it's got the gimmick of one take, which they give up on 2/3 of the way through. And it's Hollywood star makes big comeback. Everyone in Hollywood's voting. Think about the end user on this. Shouldn't have even been nominated. What a horrible movie. It's so boring. Honestly. Birdman, who watches that still to this day? No one. No one. What was it up against? American Sniper. Sorry, Clint. A lot of that movie was bullshit. Not litigating him as a person, that the person that Bradley Cooper's playing. Not litigating that at all. But a lot of that movie was bullshit. Not true. Boyhood. Cool experiment. Let's film this kid for like 20 years. Doing what? There's no story to this. I don't want to watch this. I watched 3 hours of that and I'm like, that's it? I just watched that? They filmed this kid as he's getting older, and what has he been in since? Exactly. Cool experiment. Best Picture. Get the fuck out of here. Grand Budapest Hotel. Amazing. Grand Budapest Hotel should have won. I'm sorry. Imitation Game. Overrated. Good story. Good. I mean, I want a good movie about Alan Turing, and that's not it. I'm sorry. It's not. Selma. Very good movie. It captures that time so well. Selma should have probably won Best Picture. The Theory of Everything. I like that movie, even though it's a little hokey. I like Theory of Everything. Shouldn't have won, though. And then Whiplash was my favorite film that year. Whiplash was my number one. I didn't see it. So if you go back and look at my list that I made for 2014, it wasn't on that list because I didn't see it until January. And I always make my list before the end of December. Whiplash should have been... Whiplash was my favorite picture of that year. Was it Best Picture material? No. But I think Grand Budapest Hotel or Selma, either one of those should have been Best Picture. Birdman, undeserved. All right, we're almost done. Spotlight. This was weird because Spotlight, when I did my Oscar pool, I picked Spotlight to win. But I was rooting for The Revenant, which was my favorite film of the year. And Mad Max Fury Road. Well, Revenant it didn't come out in theaters until January in Dallas. So I counted that as a 2016 movie in my year-end list. Mad Max Fury Road was my number one movie for 2015. So the fact that they came out technically in the same year because Revenant played in some theaters in December in that Oscar period time, but I didn't get to see it in Dallas. So that was kind of in that weird space. Room, The Martian. The Martian's a great movie. It maybe Ridley Scott's most crowd-pleasing film. One of. Brooklyn. Oh, I gotta look at Brooklyn. Oh, Brooke, I've seen that. Yeah, it's okay. It's fine. Bridge of Spies? It's alright. The Big Short. The Big Short is an incredible movie. Look at this list. And I'm telling you, Spotlight is a good movie. Even though there's a little bit of overacting in a couple spots. I can't go higher than Look at that list. The Revenant to me is a 10 out of 10. Some people don't like it. I understand why they have problems with it. The Martian is like a 9.5 out of 10. Mad Max Fury Road was my favorite film of that decade. It is the best made film of that decade. It is the best thrill ride. It is just tightly made. It's perfect. That movie is a perfect film. The Big Short tells a complex story in a way that is so fun. And I have watched that movie probably 3 or 4 times, and I devour it when I watch it. Like, I'm so happy to be in this world. How do you do that? Adam McKay nailed that movie. Any one of those should have won. Spotlight, a good movie. But then I thought, I'm going to pick it to win out of this list. Because I think, for some reason, Spotlight is the most important of them. Because none of these other movies felt important. Right? That's the word. That's what gets you in some of these. Did it feel important? So I'm putting it in and not even that might be a little generous because that is a murderer's row of Best Picture nominees. 2016, Moonlight. Oh, this list doesn't have 2019 in it. It's missing Parasite. I'll tell you where Parasite belongs in this. Okay. I'll tell you. You've stuck with me this long. You're still here. Moonlight. This movie surprised the shit out of me. Honestly, I watched it and I had no clue what it was about. I just watched it. And by the end I went, damn. There's nothing else like that movie out there. And it was so well made. And when there was that little snafu, I picked La La Land to win because Golden Age of Hollywood. But it didn't win. They said it won because Warren Beatty read the wrong card. It was Moonlight. And I'll tell you, Moonlight's a damn good movie. It is really good. Arrival's cool, kinda. Not a Best Picture. Fences. Denzel Washington. Pretty good. Hacksaw Ridge is a really good movie. I talked about that on my war movies list. Hacksaw Ridge is actually really good. Mel Gibson directed it. Say what you want about him. Hell or High Water. Once was enough with that movie. Doesn't need to be nominated. Hidden Figures. Very good movie. In fact, I would make an argument Hidden Figures, even though they made up a couple of little things in it, it's pretty close to the truth. I think Hidden Figures probably should have been up there with Moonlight. Manchester by the Sea. Kinda. It's all right. Lion. I don't think I've seen Lion. Haven't seen Lion. Oh, look, Weinstein Company produced it. So of course it got nominated. Why? Why did they have so much fucking clout? Okay. Moonlight. Where does it belong here? Hidden Figures. Actually, I'm going to put it as somewhat deserving. I can't put it... If Hidden Figures would have won, or La La Land, I would have... those are the ones that I was expecting to win. It is a good movie, though. And on this list, I just can't say totally deserved, because I have not had a desire to watch it a second time. I will say, once was enough. but it is a very good view. All right, Shape of Water. Listen. If you've seen this movie, you know that it shouldn't have won. You know. And I love Del Toro. We all love Guillermo del Toro, and I was happy for him. This movie is so bad. But looking at that list, yep, I picked it to win Best Picture. Why? Because there's a little bit of that old school Hollywood in it. You see when they're watching TV, I was like, is it going to win Best Picture for this? I didn't pick it when I first saw it, though. Unlike Argo and a couple of these other ones when I walked out, Birdman, when I walked out and I'm like, that's going to win Best Picture. It's a piece of shit. It's going to win. Shape of Water, watched it on home video or streaming, and then it came when it got nominated in that list. I'm like, oh, out of that list, it's going to win. But I didn't watch it and think it was going to win Best Picture. It is not my least favorite Del Toro film, but it's definitely bottom half. Call Me by Your Name, good movie. One of the first major films to deal with the topic. Darkest Hour, it's okay. Churchill, the casting was very stunt casting. Dunkirk, it's Christopher Nolan's tightest film, but it's not his most rewatchable, I don't think. Get Out, amazing horror film. It's hard to watch. Even though you get a bit of a release at the end, it's still hard to watch. I am in for Jordan Peele constantly because of that film. I will go and watch whatever he does. Even though I thought Us was I got the memo in the last 15 minutes, keeps beating you over the head. Get Out is a fucking great film. Yeah, it is. It's a masterpiece. It probably should have won. Phantom Thread. Man, is that an underrated film. What a great chamber piece. God damn, I love that movie. And I didn't think I would. He made me give a shit about this spoiled rotten genius fashion designer and this model that is kind of his muse, and this woman who is kind of a mother figure to him. And by the end of that film, I went, holy shit, that was awesome. Like, I did not expect it. The Post, bad movie. Steven Spielberg, bad. They rushed the script. They rushed the production of the movie. They just slapped a bunch of actors and actresses in it. And you've got David Cross and Bob Odenkirk playing as two characters together. How? I was like, it's Mr. Show. What are you doing? And they were like comic relief. I'm like, what am I watching? It's terrible. The Post should never have been nominated for Best Picture. 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Fun movie. But In Bruges, this is almost a makeup for In Bruges, because In Bruges is a way better film. Martin McDonagh, good director. He's made some really good movies. That was one and done. I'll never watch that movie again. And honestly, Sam Rockwell is so over the top in that movie. It kills it for me. It really does. Probably your favorite film ever, Pac. Hey, that's saying something. I Get Out, I've watched twice, and I'll tell you the second time was so tough. I was like cringing because of how on the nose it is. Shape of Water is undeserved. I can't go WTF because the competition, personally, I think Dunkirk is a better film, and you can make a case that Dunkirk should have won because of the story, and it never really been done on film in a way like that. The Phantom Thread is a great film, but it wasn't going to win. Lady Bird, Get Out, I would have loved to have seen Get Out win, but it's a horror film. It wasn't going to win. Get Out deserved to win the most that year. Finally, Green Book. I'll tell you what. Green Book, Black Panther getting nominated was enough of a win for it. I was surprised it got nominated. It's an okay Marvel film, but just the representation, and I was so happy that it did as well as it did. Black Klansman, pretty good movie. One of Spike Lee's better films of the last 10 years. Bohemian Rhapsody, pretty good. Some of it's bullshit, but great performance. Glad to see the Oscar, no problem. The Favorite. Yorgos is such a weird director. He's so weird. But I like The Favorite. The Favorite was like kind of a mainstream version of him. And if you haven't seen The Lobster or Killing of a Sacred Deer, dude, he's a weird director. Roma, I did not see that. It's on Netflix, and for some reason I did not get around to that one. I wish I had. Stars Born, pretty good, actually. Pretty good. Vice? No. Didn't care for it. Okay, so out of that list, where does Green Book rank? It's cartoony. The film deserved a little bit better, and Viggo Mortensen, he's great in so many things. In this, he's just miscast. I like bits and pieces of the movie. As a whole, I think it works just barely because of the script. But man, it's very eh. The problem is, you look at the rest of the year, what deserved to win more? Stars Born? Like, it's good. It's good. Lady Gaga nailed it. So that's the list right now. 2019 is not on here, but I'll say Parasite was my favorite film that year, hands down. Parasite is an incredible film. It is a 10 out of 10. It is so well crafted. It is so well edited and so well paced. I watched that film and I just like stood up out of my chair. Like, this movie is a revelation. Like, I haven't seen something that made me feel like this in a really long time. And I had it as one of my top 10 films of that past decade, even though it just came out late in the decade. And I have the 4K disc of it, and it looks fucking incredible. Ford versus Ferrari is okay. The Irishman, I'm sorry, that's 3.5 hours I'll never get back. I'm sorry. The last 30 or 40 minutes is really good, but getting to that point is such a slog. Jojo Rabbit, very good movie. Very good movie. A little heavy-handed, very good movie. Joker. We live in a society. Little Women, that was an okay movie. Nominated? No. Marriage Story is a very good movie. Memes galore out of it, but Marriage Story is good. It wasn't going to win Best Picture. And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I'm sorry, I'm not really a fan of it. It's okay. It's not one of my favorites. There's probably 45 minutes of an incredible film in that, and it's surrounded by meh. Parasite's my favorite film in that list, and I would have put Parasite at Totally Deserved. Having said that, I chose 1917 as my pick in the Oscar poll that year. I'm like, 1917 is gonna win Best Picture. The stunt of the way that it was edited when it's not edited at all, the amount of effort it took them, it makes me speechless. And I've watched that 3 times now. I'm telling you right now, that's another 4K disc that looks flawless. It looks like you could reach in and grab them. I want to go put that in. It's 1 a.m. I want to go put 1917 in my Blu-ray, in my 4K, and I want to watch it right now. It is such an amazing film. The set pieces in that, the sniper set piece, the just in the beginning as they're talking, walking through the trenches, the plane, the airplane scene. Oh god, 1917 is a fucking great film, and I thought it was going to win on this list. I thought, no way Parasite wins. Parasite won, and I was glad. All right, on this list, here's my ranking of all of them. Unforgiven, probably my favorite film on this list. Oh god, this is so hard. Like, Return of the King is a better film than The Departed, but if I'm going to watch one, you got to make time to watch Return of the King, and you're watching all 3 of them. Where Departed, you watch it 2.5 hours, you're good. And by the way, I'd seen the original before The Departed, way before it was even getting made. It's called Infernal Affairs. It is a Chinese film. Really good story. The Departed is a better version of it. It's not very often when someone remakes a film and makes it better. The Departed and Infernal Affairs is a good movie. The Departed's a better film. Ocean's 11, the original. There's a reason for them to sing some songs and hang out. The remake's a better film. It's rare though, right? Most of the time remakes aren't as good. So that's where I would rank all of these, and that's for my personal feelings. On this list, Gladiator's gonna be pretty high up there. No Country's gonna be way up there. King's Speech is ahead of those. Titanic, Argo, Moonlight. Yeah. Yeah, that's where I would put all those. On that list, I think Gladiator and No Country for Old Men are really close. Forrest Gump, these all three are really close. King's Speech is a damn good movie. $1 Million Baby, I hate it. Slumdog, Spotlight. I'll put Spotlight ahead of Green Book. Oh God, I don't like any of these movies. Like, I like parts of Hurt Locker. I like a tiny bit of Shape of Water. Yeah, Artist is actually not a bad movie. There's nothing wrong with the movie per se. But in the year that it came out, I've never even seen Chicago. I watched like a half an hour. Get that shit out of here. Shakespeare in Love, I've watched it. So there you go. Hey, this has been a long-term maker, but I'm telling you, this is a fun one. Because every year when you talk about, did that movie deserve to win Best Picture? And you debate it. I basically just tried to have that debate inside of 30 years. And we did it in just around an hour. So, how do you feel? Which of these deserve to win the most? And is Crash really that bad? If you're watching this on YouTube, throw a comment down, please. It would be very helpful. And if you've watched this far, throw me a subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. Or even just a like. It helps because I'm trying to grow this channel. And I appreciate y'all hanging out with me tonight. Thanks for watching this list of ranking 30 Best Picture winners. Holy crap. That was a long one. But I'm glad you stuck around. Thank you so much.